Welcome to Sing Scarlet. It's Shelby here with Tyler. We got all the things to talk about. We got NiJa throwing a no-hitter in her homecoming game over in Kansas. The squad's sweeping those J Squawks. They're playing Abilene Christian as we're recording this, so we'll update you along the way. But the big thing is they're back at home this weekend in Lubbock at the Rock, playing a huge series with Utah. Be there. Get your tickets. I know maybe a little chilly, whatever. Who cares? You haven't seen them in a while. Throw on a jacket and be there. That's softball. We're going to talk a little bit about basketball, the highs of it and the lows of it. Season's over for both our men's and our women's team, and we're officially into portal season, and the madness has begun. We'll give you a little bit of tidbits there. We have track starting to get into full screen on the full go on the outdoor side, and they have a meet here in town on Thursday, just a one-day thing. Go out and see that if you want to. Tennis is doing the damn thing on the women's side still. 8-1 now, getting closer and closer to being maybe Big 12 champs. I'm just saying. That's what we got going on. We're gonna give you the rundown. We'll see where we go. Tyler, how you doing? Basketball's over,
Well,
but we're
I
fully into
know.
softball season now. I am loving that we've had so many people coming over to softball now. You should have been there before, people. You should have been there before. But you're here now, and I appreciate the love that y'all have been giving the softball team this week and being like, I want to learn everything. So I hope you're here because I told you to tune in the show. We'll get you up to speed on softball. It is fully softball season now, around these parts, at least.
Yeah. No, I'm very happy to see on my feed every day we have a new conversion of someone that's switching over to softball and is now siding with us and is like, oh, look, the team's number one in the Big 12. And I'm like, well, yeah, like we knew this. Like you could even say that, like, even if you followed last year, that we were on our track to be great. So now we are great. So we just
A
have a
lot of
lot
fun.
that we have to, yeah, we're having a lot of fun. A lot of things going our way with that. And yeah, as I put in my little subtitle thing down below my name. Thank you, softball, because y'all saved my mental
Thank
health
you,
this week.
softball.
Because basketball, that was most depressing. It was the biggest emotional swing because for men Thursday, like yeah, I was sad about the women, and then the men had that awesome win against Arkansas. And then, like, I'm on this emotional high, like, all these things. And then after Saturday, I was like just staring at the wall at like 2 hours after the game ended. Like, what did I just watch? So, but thank
Man,
you, softball, for
sports.
keeping vibes kind of up.
Sports are tough, man. That's why I love that we cover all the sports around here because it even forces me to like be like, oh wow, we are doing really good in this sport. Like softball, obviously I'm there, but it's like I don't know how closely I'd be following women's tennis if I wasn't doing Senior Scholar. But I'm so effing hyped for women's tennis every week. I'm like, oh my god,
Same.
here we go
Yep.
again. And like, so we're losing these games in basketball. I'm like, man, this sucks because y'all know how much I love basketball. Like genuinely, like diehard basketball fan. Y'all know this, and so it does hurt my soul when we lose, and I'm like down about it for a little while, but. Maybe it's my old age or whatever, but I get over it pretty fast now. But it helps because it's like, but these teams are doing the damn thing. Like, how can I not be happy about this? So join us, be happy here. It's okay to be sad about one thing ending, but be hyped that you have a couple of teams, both in softball and women's tennis, that are fighting for a Big 12 championship. Our track teams were both ranked in the top 10 after the first couple of weeks of the outdoor season. Like, there's some cool stuff happening here. You just got to open your mind up to it and watch. And I promise you, if you love sports, you're going to fall in love with it, and then you're going to experience the highs and lows of a new sport, and that's tough sometimes, but it's really fun. So buckle in. Let's talk about the softball team. If you missed it, they went up to Kansas. We call it the NiJa Canady Homecoming Series because she's from Topeka, which is about 20, 30 minutes away. She practiced all the time in Lawrence, Kansas growing up. Like, she knows the area. It was basically like just the NiJa show. There's so many Texas Tech people in the stands that were Kansas people just wearing her shirts. It was cool. Probably not cool for the Kansas team, but it was cool for us and cool for NiJa. Sold out crowds in every game. And we go up there and we swept them. And not only did we sweep them, she threw a no hitter in the first game of the series in her homecoming game. Like, it was a 5 inning no hitter because our offense did the damn thing too, as you'll see. We'll show highlights. But she was pretty dominant. If we would have played 7 innings, I don't think they were going to hit on her in the next two either. I think she struck out 12 of 15 outs that she had, and that it was pretty dominant. So that's kind of what we're about to get into. Tyler, take it away. I'll fire our pilots, get them ready to go. But game one, we'll just go in order.
Yeah, so game one, your Red Raiders softball team won 9-0. We took down the Jayhawks. As you said, NiJa, she pitched 5 innings, had 0 hits, 0 earned runs, obviously, and she had 12 strikeouts, which was huge. And then our bats ended up getting hot. Bailey
Crushing
went
it.
2 for 3. Lana went
Canady.
1 for 3. Maya Davis went 1 for 3, and she stole home, and we'll see that in a minute, to get a run in. Lauren Allred went 1 for 2, had 2 RBIs and a home run. Haley Tony went 1 for 2 and had 2 RBIs. Alexa Langoliers did the damn thing, went 1 for 3 and had 1 RBI.
Love that
And
girl.
guys,
Happy
Demi
birthday.
Elder is
Alexa
so
Langolier's
back.
birthday, by the way, today. Happy
Yes,
birthday to
happy
the goat,
birthday, Alexa,
our
our
senior.
favorite second baseman all time, here at Texas Tech.
Well,
And then yeah,
it's not
well,
a disrespect, but
yes, but
currently,
she's
yes.
she's doing some pretty good things. Recency
Yeah.
bias, recency
Yes.
bias. And then yeah, guys, Demi Elder is so back. She went 1 for 3 and had 2 RBIs.
Fucking crap.
This was really her hitting weekend, big weekend for her.
Yeah.
And then Kylie went 1 for 2 and had 1 RBI. So that was kind of what happened over in game one, and we'll get to watch and see all the fun things that they did this weekend. But bats were hot, which is good. We need to have the
Yeah.
bats hot at this point in the season.
For sure, they're definitely settling in. It helps to get someone like Demi back. You'll see that she just puts together good at bats. We've said this all year. We talked about how we were missing her because we just wanted to see her out there. And she's a senior, just like Langoliers, just like our other veterans on this team. She puts together good at bats in big moments. She gets walks, she gets hit by pitches, or she'll at minimum put the ball in play and move a runner from second to third if there's only one out. Like she does her job more times than not. So you like that, and everybody's starting to kind of find their groove. And sometimes you just need to you just needed that one spot at the bottom of the lineup. We just couldn't figure it out. And let's hope that it's Demi Elder. She's started off really well. You'll see that in the highlights. So let's get into them. Game one. We win
Inside runner goes.
8-0, I think.
Second. Tech will bring the runner.
Early, smart play. We do this to a lot of people, especially with Maya on third. If you're new to the team, Maya Davis is insanely fast. Her freshman year, she was the stolen base leader in the entire country over at Louisiana. She's doing that now for us. She's insanely fast. We purposely send the runner at first there to get purposely caught into a rundown, make them to make that throw, and that's all Maya needs. We were probably okay because in softball, if she scores a run before she gets out, it would have been a run no matter what. But couldn't even do that, so we get both. She's safe at second as well. So this team does a lot of that stuff. Small ball, it's fun. NiJa Canady is good at softball.
2 down for the Jayhawks.
Just enjoy.
Analysis, good.
Swing and a miss. The Jayhawks leave
She
one
was
aboard.
on one.
Hit hard into the gap in right center
There's
field.
Demi
That's
right
gonna score a
there.
run.
Big double
Demi
early in the
Elder.
game.
Double for
Just
Demi
does her
Elder.
damn job. Softball player. You can
Red
tell
Raiders
the
up 2-0.
dugout's so hype.
Hit hard right down the first
Kylie
base
Huffman.
line.
We've
Here
talked
comes
about her a
Elder
few times.
around
She just
third.
keeps getting hits. Good for her.
She does.
And Huffman
Those
slides
long
into second
strides.
base. Back-to-back doubles. 24 driven in this year. Hits that one hard to center field. Limbaugh
Lauren.
goes back and watches it fly over the fence.
Oh wait, that is Lauren, right? Yeah.
Home
Yep, Lauren
of course it
Allred.
is. She hits a home run in every single game in the series. I don't know if the Big 12 awards came out yet this week. Shirley, did I miss it? How is
that
she
delivering a
not
touch
the Big
situation?
12 hitter of the week if she
Transfer
wasn't?
from Stanford.
She had a home run in every game.
Swing and a miss.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's what
Lauren
I'm
Allred
saying.
is doing the damn thing. I really enjoy watching her hit. Y'all have heard me talk about her before. She's just great.
Changes
Only a
speeds and
sophomore
gets the
too.
strikeout.
Love it.
Her fifth.
This is just NiJa. Again, 12
Great
strikeouts
change.
in this one in 5
Strikeout.
innings.
Number 6.
Do the math. 12 of 15 outs were strikeouts.
Woo!
They just couldn't. They adjust a little bit.
Strikeout
You'll see in
number
game
7.
3 they had a little bit of a better plan, but she had them confused up
Nice
there
change.
in game 1.
Look, am I seeing more of like a NiJa spin? Did we unlock a new
think
celebration move? Like,
Oh, the spin. She does that sometimes. She gets real hype. She got super hype in the game 3. I don't know if it's in the highlights. Where she like took her mask off. I don't know what was going on, if she knew that batter, but there was something more to that one at bat. I was like, whoa.
And Langoliers is going to end up at second base. Up the middle. Kripe makes a dive, can't get it.
There we go. I think
2
that was
runs
Haley
scored for
Tony
1, 2.
doing her job. Haley
And Tony
Tony's
hits the
been
second
great.
base.
Only
We're
a freshman,
Kansas
y'all.
team. Good
If you're
lord.
new around these parts, we
Freshman.
have a couple of freshmen that do not play like freshmen.
It's
Haley
not
Tony's one of
similar to
them.
a baseball situation by any means.
I mean, how do you not want to be in Lubbock on Friday night to
Strike
watch
three
NiJa
called.
do
Her
this?
10th strikeout.
That's what I'm saying.
On the ground to second.
Demi Elder just does her damn job.
Me
Look at
again.
that. Gets the runner in. That's what I'm talking about. She just does her job. That's what you like to see.
Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 12.
That'll do.
Woo!
Runner
And then
goes,
Vic
throw
throws out a runner
is
to
in
end
time.
the game.
Victoria Valdez.
Look at this. Love that. Love to see that from Vic and NiJa.
Goes down to second.
Oh, we started back over. Yeah, but those two were hype. As always, great way to end it. Vic's been just throwing people out. She's doing a great job framing back there. She's a great little catcher. I love her. Does her job as well. So that was game one. A great way to start it. Not everybody handles those emotions well, but I think Blasco said during one of these in-game interviews with the broadcast, he was like, this is a great atmosphere for our players to be in. We need to be able to make clutch plays in front of big crowds. It's like a super regional atmosphere. So that's what he was really proud about from his team in all three of these games, is they were able to make clutch plays in big moments in front of a huge crowd. And you feel like that's how this team's growing as the year's gone on. So that was game one. I'll get game two highlights fired up if you want to run through the big stuff from the box score.
Yeah, so in game two, we won 14-3. We did not run roll them. We had to play a full 7 innings, but some big people out here was Chloe Riaceto. She pitched for the first 3 innings, had 1 strikeout, and only 2 earned runs. And then Sam Lincoln, we've been telling you all year, if y'all are unfamiliar, Sam Lincoln is our freshman pitcher, one of those people that you probably wouldn't suspect is a freshman. In 4 innings, she had 4 strikeouts, only 1 earned run allowed, and she absolutely relieved and closed that game out really, really well. And then as far as our bats are concerned, Maya Davis, welcome to the Yaboom Club. She had her first home run. Congrats to Maya.
Killed it.
Huge for
There are
Maya.
a lot
She
of
went 3 for
Yabooms in
5
this
also.
game. 5
Yes,
of them, right?
and then 1, 2, 3. Yes, 5 of them. And the next one came from Lauren Allred, 2 for 4, and had 3 RBIs. Alexa Langoliers, 3 RBIs and a homer. Haley Tony went 2 for 5, had 2 RBIs and a home run. Alana Johnson went 2 for 4 and had 1 RBI. Bailey Lindemuth went 1 for 4 and had 2 RBIs. Reagan, Michaela, and Logan went 1 of 1. And Demi Elder, guys. Demi Elder is back. As we said again, she went 2 for 4, had 2 RBIs, and she had a home run.
Let's go.
So, yes, congrats to Demi. Got her first home run of the season.
Card-carrying member of the Yaboom Club from past seasons, but she got her membership renewed, so she's back in 2025.
Renewed membership, yes. Congrats to Demi.
Yeah, so that was good. Always good to see. It's cool to see Maya. That's Maya Davis's home run. You'll see it in the highlights. That's her first home run since her freshman year. She's a speed player, but she can crank it too. Like we let her pull back the bat quite a bit, and she's had some big doubles and stuff. And this one just flew. I think the wind might have been blowing out, but we took advantage of it. And on the flip side, we didn't let Kansas hit any home runs, so they were playing with the same wind conditions that we were, and they didn't hit them, and we won 14-2 or whatever it was. Because we didn't run rule them, like you said, but we got 7 runs or something in the final inning, so we poured it on, which we've done to a lot of people this year. Like I personally like to see it, because that's what championship teams have done to us in the past.
Hard into center
So here we
field.
go, Lauren Allred being Lauren Allred, just doing Lauren Allred things. What else can you say about her? She's just a great hitter. If you like to watch good hitting, just watch her at the plate. Tactical up there. Another one that's good at the plate. How about our freshman?
Great effort from Stafford.
2 home runs in the first inning. 1 from a sophomore, redshirt sophomore, in Allred, and 1 from a true freshman right there in Haley Tony, who is gonna be a superstar, y'all. Know the name.
However,
Chloe Riaceto just does her damn job, just steady.
Up the middle. Good play from September Flanagan.
That was a great play by their second baseman. Wow. I don't remember that live, but she kept that from getting through, but everybody was safe and we still scored 2 runs. Just putting pressure on them.
Pounded into the ground. Mezqua.
Oh, this play.
The runner's going to try and score.
Guys, we're going to go back and watch this. I need to set this in here. Maya Davis just scored, people. You saw that. She started this play on second base. Did you? That ball maybe went 5 feet in front of home plate, and Maya Davis just scored from second base.
Insane.
Like,
she's not real.
I don't know how this wasn't on sports. Like, just stupid. I mean, a little bit of a lack of awareness in the pitcher there to cover home. She didn't do her job. But for Maya to recognize that and have the speed to make it to home before the catcher could get back, she was only 5 feet away. Like, this was not a hard hit ball. Like, it was a dribbler right in front of home. We're going to see if we can back up, if I'm talented enough to back up just a little bit. Okay, here we go.
Pounded
Look at
into the
this.
ground.
You just saw her fly by in the background. That was her at second base. She scores on this
Gone.
from
That's what-
second.
On it quickly. The runner's going to try and score.
I mean, that is
There we go.
winning
Beautiful
softball.
slide.
To have the guts to do that, to slide head first, all out. Love to see it. They made a lot of winning championship type plays in this series. I'm just saying.
That's going to go all the way to the wall.
This is another one. Kansas says we're about to score, and we say, no, you're not.
Oh.
A beautiful, absolutely beautiful textbook relay. Dibby Elder gets it at the wall, gets it to our freshman, Haley Toney. Look at this throw from the freshman. I mean, on a line and just
Wow.
Vic, I have a screenshot of that. There's some Kansas fans that are saying she was safe. And you know why? I was like, you might have a case. But if you slow it down, you can see that Vic tags her with about an inch before this girl touches home plate with her hand. So she was out. Just brilliant work from Demi to Haley to Vic. That stuff, this team talks a lot about how hard their practices are. That's the stuff they're drilling in practice, and it comes up in a big moment in the games. Love it. Sam Lincoln. Sam Lincoln doing the damn thing.
I did see our defense too make a lot of big plays. Last weekend was a little rough at South Carolina. This weekend we were on.
Oh, there's Demi's
We were
home
on
run.
point. Oh, there we go, Demi. Membership renewed.
To keep her off the base path.
I just love seeing her playing softball. I hate when seniors are hurt.
And gone.
There's Maya Davis. She's a speedster, but don't get it twisted. She's got some power in that bat when she needs to. Big time strikeout. 2 runners on base.
Great pitch from
Sam, she's just getting that about her. She still walks some people from time to time and does some stuff she probably doesn't want to, but that's normal. That's a freshman. But to be able to not let it get to her is what she's getting better at as the season has gone on. She's got the stuff. I mean, even the Kansas announcers were like, damn, this girl's got some stuff. Like, she's throwing it as hard as NiJa is at times. Like, she's getting into the 70s, but from the left side. Like, that's hard. If she can harness that, which I have every belief she will by the time her career leaves here, she's going to be special.
Tried to backhand it. Does not get the runner.
Now we just start pouring it on, y'all. This is all in the top of the 7th. No mercy. Alexa Langoliers says, yeah, boom! For the moment, that retied her with Lauren Allred for team leading in home runs. And you'll see in Game 3, I'm going to give you a little spoiler alert. In Game 3, Lauren hits it again, so now she has the lead in home runs. But big time spoiler alert that hopefully you already know by the time you're watching this, because the game's going on right now. Alexa Langoliers hit 3-run boom in the first inning against ACU. So Texas Tech is up 3-0 right now. On her birthday girl, I'm probably going to double task here in a minute and go tweet while Tyler's talking, because the birthday girl just hit a home run. So now her and Lauren are now tied again. To lead the team in home runs. They're going back and forth. I'm sure they're having some fun with that. So there you go. That's your live in-game update. We're already off and running in the midweek, which is what you want to see.
Good problems to have.
Oh, look, the freshman
Here comes the
cooking. I think that was Alana with a nice hit there to drive her in. And that's the game right there. Just murdered them, really.
Yeah.
Jayhawks are not real birds. They try to pretend. They try to trick kids with a cute little cartoon. That's not a real bird. It's not a real bird. And we don't like fake birds around here. So that was Game 2. Any thoughts before, or just roll into Game 3? And I'm going to go tweet about Alexa hitting a boom on her birthday. So y'all are getting to see the process behind the scenes live.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing about Game 2, and, when you look at it, like, yes, NiJa is going to NiJa. NiJa's going to do all of her good things that she always does. But when I'm looking at these Big 12 series, I would argue that, that second game can be so important, and it can really take a lot of pressure off the team. Obviously, if you do lose it, then this team is very well equipped to win Game 3. But if you can get the series win on day 2, without NiJa having to be in the circle, and then you can kind of rely on Chloe and Sam, this team ceiling is so high, and they can do some great things. And that's what I love to see when we're able to get that Game 2 win. So that's one of my biggest takeaways from this series, because we did that against Baylor. We did that against Oklahoma State. So these are all really good things to happen and good problems to have for us.
Yeah, I agree. Kansas is not one of the top teams right now in the Big 12, but they've shown that they can beat good teams. They just beat Missouri in the midweek right before this. They shut out Missouri. in the Wednesday game before we started them or played them on Friday and Saturday and Sunday or whatever it was, Friday and Saturday with the weather. Like, in the same pitcher that started this game right here that we just showed you is who shut out, complete game shutout of Missouri. And then we said, cool, we're going to hit 2 home runs off you in the first inning. And that just kind of like cut Kansas' confidence out from under them because they thought they had finally found something. And they have some good players. And our hitters are just getting it going, as you can see there. As you can see, Alexa Langler's right now just hit another home run in the game that's going on right now. And that's what they're doing. So moving into game 3, a little bit closer. Double headers are tricky, y'all. If you look at the stats on double headers, a lot of times it's 50-50 split, you know? If you don't have someone like NiJa to throw back out there. It's a little higher in softball because you can throw your ace more often than in baseball, but you got to reset your mind. 14-2, all of a sudden it's 0-0, 20 minutes later, you did all that work, now you got to do it again. And this game was a little bit closer throughout, but we find a way to come up clutch and have big moments, and NiJa does her job. Doesn't get super frustrated. The ump was squeezing her a little bit, both teams. It was a small zone. She was having to work a little bit, and Kansas does a much better job in this game. As you'd expect, one day later, having seen her, of just fighting off pitches and making it a little tougher on her, but we get the win. I don't remember what the final score is. 4-1, something like that.
4-1. Yes.
All right, go through the stats if you want to, and then I'll hit play on the highlights.
Yeah. So we won 4-1. NiJa Canady, I think, was probably the player of the game for us. I mean, 7 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts. 14 strikeouts. Insane. Only allowed 1 earned run and only allowed 3 hits. Lauren Allred went 1 for 4, had 1 RBI, and she had a home run. I'm assuming that RBI is from the home run, obviously. Haley Tony went 1 for 4. Bailey Lindemuth went 1 for 3. Demi Elder went 1 for 3. Demi Elder just had a phenomenal hitting weekend. So glad she's back in the lineup. Logan Hallman went 1 for 2, and Kylie Huffman. We've said her name a lot on the show. This freshman has really done a huge turning point on the season. And yeah, she's doing her job. Went 1 for 1 and had 2 RBIs. And that kind of helped us get some cushion for the game. So congrats to all of them. Good to see that the hitters were still consistent, even though it wasn't as, exciting or as huge as, the game before that. But, when you're in a doubleheader, you got to lock in, and they all locked in. And then shout out to NiJa. 14 strikeouts is absolutely insane.
Yeah, our record for strikeouts in a game is 16, which is a
so
lot
close.
Because in 7 innings. So it's not like, oh my God, how dare she not broke it yet? But it's a lot to get. I mean, that's 16 of 21 outs to get there. So that's an impressive number there. But she was 2 off of that in this game. So perhaps it's coming eventually. We'll see. But that was that. Let's watch the highlights.
Strike 3 call.
Starts off with a strikeout. That feels appropriate.
Up high.
Her rise ball was nasty. It was starting at like their knees and ending up above their head. It was insane. And then and then we're gonna whatever that was.
2-2 pitch here in the bottom of the 3rd. Strike out number 4.
Just fired up. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, I don't know if she had family in the stands talking to her or what, but it was a battle. But I don't know if she was upset the ump was squeezing her or what, but she was fired up to get that strikeout. About as you can even see Haley in the background laughing.
Strike 3.
She was fired up in this. Another clutch. You talked about Kylie Huffman. This is a clutch at bat. We're tied 0-0. She comes up there, 2-2 count, doesn't swing at that. We're able to score on that. I mean, a lot of freshmen swing through on that. The inning's over unless she can run to first. It was a wild pitch, but so she is up there when we score the first run, and then she gets a hit to bring in 2 more. So she's doing her job. You appreciate it.
Field, that's going to drop. 2 Red Raiders come across to score.
I love that Demi is so hype and firing up the freshmen for that. You need those moments from your seniors. And then back to the NiJa show. Did you see the movement? Oh my God, a moment of silence. Oh my God. That thing was like, I don't even understand. It just took like a hard right angle turn midway to the plate. It's just unfair, Tyler. It's just unfair.
It's so unfair.
Strike 3 call.
Really on command and
Silly. Yeah. As the game went on, she just got unhittable again. They the first couple innings they were fighting,
go.
and then
Yes,
she
you did.
settled in. It's kind of a wrap. I think they get a home run somewhere early in the game.
Good
Another one of
change
those
from
guessing
Canady.
where they just swung for the fences and caught one.
Into center field.
Speaking of swinging for the fences and
One
catching
ball
one,
back.
look, Lauren Allred
Can't get that one.
doing Lauren
Home
Allred
run
things. I mean, she's cranking them right now.
For Lauren Allred.
Pitch to her at your own risk.
Swing and a miss. 0-2 pitch.
Not a problem.
Great play from Valdez behind the plate.
Athlete! Don't you dare tell me that
back
Vic
in
Valdez is
February.
not an athlete. She's
3-2.
making crazy plays like that all the time. Let's go, Vic.
Three calls. Her 14th strikeout.
There we go.
Big time stuff from NiJa Canady. So yeah, that was game 3. Went through it. That was a sweep. That is, I think, Glasgow's 58th Big 12 series, or not Big 12 series, but conference series win in a row. The man has never lost a conference series. That's kind of crazy stat, right? People said that wasn't going to continue into the Big 12. So far it has. We'll see. That would be insane if we make it to the Big 12 without losing a series, so that streak continues, because that would be really stupid impressive. But he's really big on that. If you watch their cool little feature that they put out, like the day in the life or feature, they do that for every team at least once during the season. I hope they do it more for softball, because it was great, where they were behind the scenes of the Oklahoma State series a few weeks ago. Go watch it. It's on the Texas Tech YouTube page. It's on the softball
Great
page.
work.
It's great stuff. You get to hear from the players, the team, and it's like a mini documentary series on the Oklahoma State series. But he talks about that and how much he cares, and he really is. He emphasizes like how important it is to win series. He's like, hey, if we get a sweep along the way, great, but we have to win 2 games. And that's how his career has gone. He's just never lost one. So we'll see if that continues in the Big 12. But pretty impressive stat, and they're in good shape. They're in 8-1 right now in Big 12 play.
Mm-hmm.
Second place is Arizona. Everyone's
And
played
8
like
and 4.
different amount of games, because we had our bye week already. But they have 4 losses. We only have 1, which is big. So yeah, if you can find a way to, I think Glasgow talked about this in his press conference this week. It was a good little press conference. You can watch it. He's very cognizant of the fact that these are 2 big series in a row at home with Utah and Houston that we need to take advantage of. He's like, sweeping would be awesome, but we at least need to win 4 of 6, win both series, and then go in back on the road in a good spot. So they understand, and they're trying to take every game seriously. Like, he talks about that in the press conference, that's like the next step of growth for this team, is like that we dropped. He's like, we dropped a game to North Texas. We lost to South Dakota State or whoever it was. And it's like this team has to learn to take everybody, that anybody can beat them, and that Utah has shown to beat. Who'd they beat? They took a series with like UCF or someone. Like they can get you. Like, they're young. They're young this year because they graduated a lot. And OU stole their best hitter from them in the portal, but they brought in a pretty nice little freshman class, I believe. So that's who they have coming up on Friday. I don't know if you have any notes on them. If you do, go for it, Tyler.
Yeah, so Utah, they're 12 and 24 on the year, and they're 4 and 5 in conference. It is, I guess, quote, a rebuilding slash down year for them, for sure.
Pretty good.
Yes, typically Utah has historically been a pretty good squad.
Postseason team, at least.
Yes. And then as far as their hitters, they have Kayla Nelson. She hits at a 341. Shanti Posse at 324. And then Reese Lee at 300. Those are kind of like their top 3 hitters that we'll probably see this weekend. Obviously, hopefully they do well, or they don't do well against NiJa, obviously.
Anybody?
So. Yeah,
All of
anybody really. Yes, all of them, but especially those, since they have some pretty good hits and stats. They also combined, all 3 of them combined for about, I think, like, looks like 10 home runs or something like that. So they can hit the ball pretty far. As far as their pitching goes, I'm looking at these and I'm kind of like, okay, Haley, yeah, Haley Mastretti looks like is going to be their ace, has a 3.21 ERA. Brooklyn Carry On has a 3.8 ERA. And then Shibby Jones has a 4.18 ERA. And then I don't know what these other 2 pitchers are, but they both have a 16 ERA. I don't know if that's right.
See them unless
Yeah.
they need those 2. Those are probably people that got thrown in and like out of games.
I would
but
hope. I don't know, but
like
if we see
everybody,
them, then
it's
let's
pitching.
cook.
It's pitching that helps you win
Yes.
games, and we know that as a program very well. That's been the biggest difference this year. We've always had good offenses around Texas Tech, so that's not something that we're not used to around here. What's been great is that we have pitching, and obviously NiJa is the leader in that, but Chloe's coming on, Sam's coming on, and so that's helping us. But Utah has struggled in the circle, but again, they've shown UCF has been beating some really good teams. I think they just beat Florida. They just beat like the number 2 team in the country the other day. UCF
I
did shut them
know.
out even,
Hmm.
and I'm pretty sure that's who Utah beat a series. Utah, maybe it was Kansas. I don't know. Utah beat somebody that was like, wait, they did what? I might be making that up in my head. I might be thinking of someone else, but anyway, I know that they took the series was Kansas, which was a little bit of a surprise. And they can find a way to catch you slipping if you let them. But our team's locked in. Hopefully they'll get it done. Win another series. If you sweep it, that's big time. And then they'll be back home again the week after that. But get out to the games Friday, Saturday. What time are the games? Friday will be a night game. Saturday and Sunday are usually day games around these parts, but we'll see.
Yes. Friday they're playing at 6 o'clock. Saturday they're playing at 4 o'clock. Sunday they're playing at noon. The marketing department also has themes. It's going to be a blast from the past weekend. So it's going to be Y2K night on Friday, a League of Their Own theme on Saturday from the movie, and then Diner Dash on Sunday. I think that they have some really exciting things planned. I think they're doing like a Y2K bingo song game that you can play. So
Oh
you
my
can,
God.
go play bingo, sit and watch some
I have a question
softball,
for you.
all the things. Yes.
Y2K is like my generation, right? But what does that
Yes.
mean to students? Is that even they're like, are y'all like, what the hell is Y2K? Or
To me, Y2K is like, like when we were like, for me at least, when like I was like young, like I'm thinking
Yeah.
like Y2K is like too early 2000s. Like I would not consider,
Yes.
I don't think anything is like after, maybe like after 2008, 2010, anything after that, I would not consider as like
Yeah.
the Y2K generation. No,
When I
it's
think of
definitely till that.
Y2K, I remember New Year's Eve. I was 9, I guess. I don't know, whatever. However old I was. I remember I was not that old, but I remember everyone thought the world was going to end. That's what
Yeah.
Y2K is to me. But anyway, so like I would show up in like a doomsday outfit, and they're like, no, like I don't know, Backstreet Boys or whatever was going on then. But yeah, fun times. Do that. I'll be there. Get to break out the camera. I'm excited. I live in these parts now, so I'll get to be there, take some cool pictures, hopefully, of the team, and get that going. And you'll see our content ramp up a little bit. I'm hoping, if weather allows. It's going to be my luck that I'm finally out there getting to cover the team. It's going to be like a pouring down rainstorm or something, but let's hope not. Even though Lubbock does need the rain, bless our hearts. But that is this week, and actually, I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction. I think it is supposed to be fine weather-wise. So buy your tickets. Maybe a little bit chilly. I think it's supposed to rain Friday morning and be clear by that night, but just a little bit cold. Grab a jacket. We'll be fine. And we're going to beat Utah. Pack the house. If you have season tickets and you're not able to make it, give them away. Don't try to be stingy and sell them. Just give them to somebody so there's someone in your seat, and let's sell it out. Let's break the record again.
Yeah, let's
been
do
a
it.
while.
Let's break the record. Be there. Yeah, it's been a whole month since we've seen Tech softball
And there's
at the
nothing
Rock.
else competing with it. Well, baseball's in
Baseball.
town too, right?
Yes, they are.
That's bummer.
But the game times are kind of like they're a little bit back. So I mean,
Staggered.
baseball could be in the 5th inning, but in the event that
Yeah.
we're blowing them out or
Listen, who
the
is
other
baseball
team's blowing
playing?
them out, like Cincinnati,
Okay.
they might have a chance.
I'm not.
They
You
could.
should totally try to go to both, right?
Yes, if you can.
But NiJa freaking Canady is the best player in the country, and she's going to be throwing for your number 13 or 14, whatever they are now, Texas Tech softball team, who's in first place in the Big 12 and is trying to win a Big 12 championship on Friday night. I suggest you go to that game, and then catch baseball on another day. Maybe you can catch both.
You could catch it after probably softball games, especially with how good we are. We could
Yeah,
we could run roll Utah and watch the last several innings. Yep.
And you can watch
Exactly.
the baseball team
Yep.
win the game. Baseball, I love baseball. Worked in it for a while. Y'all know this. I'm literally wearing a baseball jersey right now. It's way more exciting at the end of games. We all know this. It drags on forever. So watch softball, which is
Yep.
exciting throughout. Then get to
Yes.
baseball and watch the fun part of it. Get them all. Get them
Exactly.
all in.
Yes.
I'm just saying,
Get
if you
it all
gotta
in.
choose, this is
Right.
This is just.
NiJa's only here for 2 years. Tech baseball will be here for.
You're gonna feel
ever.
real stupid if you don't take advantage of getting to watch a future Olympian as much as you get to. And again, it's not just
Yes.
her. There's some dogs on this team, but she's always the
Hmm.
Olympian level player
Right.
that's going on out here. So anyway, that's my pitch to you. That's no shade to baseball.
Yes.
Love the team.
No, no
I'm
shade at
still
all.
I hate that they're having a tough season. I'm gonna go to as many games as I can. I'm hoping to get to one this weekend actually, if I can fit it in the end of one. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, just
You
before
just
the
hate
games.
that it gets overlapped like this,
I
but
know
I
they've
know the
been
Big
gone for
12
like a
have to
month.
do it. I
Now we're
know.
both back. Like, come on now. You hate it,
Sad.
but it'll work out. So just get to the
Yes.
ones you can, support them all. Still, yeah, that's where we are in softball. Do you have a tidbit on baseball? If you want to go through, do we have anything on them? What happened this weekend? I know it was another
Other
tough
than
weekend.
yeah, they had a tough weekend. They got swept by K-State. I think that they're at least are going into the Cincinnati series with a little bit of, I guess, I don't know, something morale. They lost to number 10 OU last night in Frisco, 6-8. I mean, that's pretty
They battled
impressive.
back.
OU's
Yeah.
been a good baseball team. They're battling back, so they came up short. So they go in with some of that. But yeah, they take on Cincinnati at home at 6:30 Friday, Saturday at 2. So that's 2 hours before softball starts their first pitch. So
Oh,
you could probably go to
yeah.
that for a little, then go to softball, and then Sunday at 1. So
Cool.
and I think softball starts at noon. So it's like, like it's all like shift around. Like you
Just
could,
hop around. It's not too
half the
far
games.
away.
Yeah,
Pop in and
you
out.
got it. Just
Support
yeah,
them all.
drive
Get
in.
all this.
Yeah,
Get all the stickball in you can, and also get in track again, which is the only thing going on tomorrow in Lubbock, or whenever you're watching this Thursday. If it's on Thursday when you're watching this, if you want to go watch some track, let them know what track did this past weekend. And they're home again. They have their first home outdoor meet this week on Thursday.
yeah. So track had a phenomenal weekend in the Texas relays. Some big names for that. By the way, Texas relays is like the one of the
The
biggest track
the
meets, the
track meet.
biggest track meet, regular season track meet of the year. Shelby Frank, our girl Shelby Frank, she started the day for Tech
Setting records.
competing in the hammer throw. She placed second, and then she ended up throwing 63.19 meters, which is 207 feet 3 inches, on her third try for a new school record by 3 centimeters before finishing with a heave of 209 feet. She broke the record by Ozzy Okoli back in 2008 at that same meet. And then in the women's shot put, Amori Pearson, she finished second with a new school record of 58 feet and 6.5 inches, breaking Kaylee Johnson's 2022 mark. She also set 3 new personal best marks in this meet. And as of today, her mark is number 2 in the entire NCAA. And a lot of schools have outdoor track programs, unlike indoors. So a lot
Yeah,
of these
that's impressive.
schools, it's a lot. It's really impressive. I mean, it's impressive in indoor too, but in outdoor, like that's really, really impressive. Then Mackenzie Davis got the final day started for Tech as she won the women's B discus throw with a throw of 173 feet and 3 inches. And then the first running event of the day was the 4x100. The men finished with a time of 39.21 seconds. The quartet, it consisted of Jonathan Crawford, Antoine Andrews, Josh Bauer, and Kimarley Stewart. And then the women's high jump, Claire Lowry and Alex Griffith. They went second and
Got
third.
it. Back at it.
They both cleared at 5:10. And then lastly, the meet was capped off with the men's 4x400 team winning the entire event with a time of 3 minutes, 4.52 seconds. The team consisted of Carl Hicks, Deshaun Boyce, George Garcia, and Shamar Uder. And yes, they will compete. They had to move around things for weather reasons, so they're going to now combine the whole entire, usually 2 day meet into one day. So track will be going on forever, guys. Y'all go and watch at some point in the day, lunch break, after work,
Yeah.
before work. I mean, who knows?
I'm
Whatever
gonna
your
pop
schedule is,
over.
they're going to be there all day long because they're going to have to combine it into one day. So yeah, y'all be there for the Masked Rider Invitational.
Let's do it. I have to go cover football tomorrow, but I think the practice is like later in the day, so maybe I could like pop by track,
For sure.
say
You
what's
can for
up.
sure maybe see our Shelby Frank because field events start
It's
first. We can go
true.
see Shelby. Could be like, hey,
Before
how
football
we
or
doing? Let's
after.
do this.
I wonder
Yeah,
how late, if
after.
they're going late in the, I wonder if running events are at night. I mean, running events under the lights. Would we even have lights at track? I don't even know, to be
I
honest.
think we do. I think they're attempting to try to end at like 5:30,
Okay, then
6:30, but
that'll
we
be
all know how
after
track
then.
meets go.
So
Yeah.
earlier, I'll have to go earlier in the day. I'll see. I'll
But we
see.
know how track meets go. We'll see.
Yeah, they
They may be
never
there till,
stop.
yeah. They'll be there
Yeah.
till 1 a.m. if they have
Anyway,
to.
it's fun to watch if you're just around campus, especially students. Again, I'm from why students. We have a student right here, Tyler. But if your fellow students are watching our show, to get up to date on the sports, you can just roam over from your dorm or something and pop in and watch some Olympians do their thing. So
Yep.
go to that. Moving on to women's tennis, we talked a lot about them at the beginning of the show. Man, they just keep doing the dang thing. Like, they could legit win a Big 12 championship. It's going to come down, ironically, a very similar situation perhaps to softball, to that last series of the season probably with Arizona if we keep doing our job. But right now they've done it. They've won some really tough. They've gone through some really tough opponents, and now they're kind of taking care of business of these other ones that are ahead of them. They won again. They swept. They swept who'd they play? Sorry, Colorado, right? Didn't want to say the wrong team, but they went up there, swept the Buffaloes 4-0 on the road, and I think we're 8-1 in Big 12. I think who is tied with us? We beat them, so we have the tiebreaker over them. UCF is tied with us at 8-1 as well, but we beat UCF. So I believe if there's a tiebreaker there, we own that. And so if we handle business throughout the rest of the way, we're Big 12 champs. Coming up next, we have 2 more on the road. On Friday at West Virginia. Always a weird one for all of our sports. Don't know why. I hope it doesn't get tennis as well. Long flight. I have no why. It's a hard place to get to. Friday at 10 a.m. early start. And Sunday at 11 a.m. in Cincinnati. That old West Virginia-Cincinnati road trip, if you've paid attention, has been the go-to move for Texas Tech sports. They can knock them out in both one trip, I assume. So that's always a tough one, though, for sports. So we can't get tripped up in either of those. You do that, then I think it's Arizona to finish the season at home. Big time series coming up if we can win these this week. And that could be, because Arizona's up there in the standings as well, that could end up being for the Big 12 championship.
Yes, it could.
But that's next week's conversation. We can't overlook those pesky Mountaineers and what are they? Bearcats. I was gonna say Bobcats for some reason. It's too many cats.
And then men's tennis this weekend, they had a tough weekend in Arizona. They got swept twice by Arizona State and by Arizona, but they're all highly ranked teams. Number 11 in the country for Arizona and 37 for Arizona State. Guys, they take on number 2 TCU this Sunday at the McLeod at noon. Y'all be there. I think softball will be going on at the same time, but maybe just like peek over, or maybe you can hear some stuff going on. They're right next to each other. Yeah, right there. So maybe upset. We'll see. In one instance, the softball game ended at Baylor before the tennis match did. So maybe you can run over to tennis and watch us upset TCU. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, some exciting stuff this weekend for men's tennis to try to bounce back.
Yeah, we've talked about it. They're battling this year. They've graduated a lot, but they've had some big wins, and then now they're playing a tough schedule. So that's what they got going on. And we'll wrap this up. Well, wait, we got to get into basketball. We skipped over basketball. Let's go into basketball. Did we? Why did we skip over basketball? How dare us? I'm sorry, guys.
Oh.
We got excited. I think we're just like, our heart is broken. And so we'll close this out with basketball. That's appropriate, though, because, listen, we're moving on. These sports are over. These other ones are still going. So that's probably what our brains were telling us, because we like to cover what's going on. So women's basketball obviously was in the WBIT Elite 8, if you will, had a chance to go to the Final Four, playing at Florida, and man, they were giving it their best shot. They played really well for a lot of that game, had an 11-point lead in the third quarter, and then just kind of something that's caught them all year. Florida went on a run. We couldn't stop the run. Florida got a lead. We did fight back. We got it back. Had a lead with about 4 minutes to go. Then Florida was just kind of back and forth from there. Some weirdness going on with the refs. Horrible calls, but we had our chances, and we just couldn't make free throws, to put it plain and simply. Missed, I think, 4 free throws in a row, and that was kind of the game. Some good performances from a lot of people in that. I could get here, and I just feel, I don't know if it's a point in dissecting it because of where we are right now, but there were some good performances from people I saw throughout the postseason that I'm excited to hopefully get to see if they stick around, which we'll talk about in a second moving forward. But valiant effort. I posted this on Twitter and I stand by it. Even for players that have moved on, high character group this year, they had every reason to quit. A lot of fans were giving them every out to quit, telling them they should quit, even that they should quit, because there's a lot of people that have no backbone in this world. But these players weren't like that. So close group by all accounts. And they kind of came together at the end of the year and found a way to make some of the season. And made a lot of good memories, and that I know we all want to win and all these things, but for them, that stuff matters. I think some players got better, learned some things about themselves that they can carry into the next season, and that's what you got to take from it. So that's where basketball is. Do you have any thoughts about that game before we talk about what's next, the bigger picture, all that stuff?
Yeah. Um, we go 12 for 25 from the line, and that's just
Yeah, we
unacceptable
got
at that
there.
late in the
Got there
season.
plenty. It's good make it.
Yes, got there plenty. And I think that that was an issue that, I for sure noticed when we were first covering this team in the season. I said, "Guys, I don't know what's going on, what's in the water here in Lubbock, but this year the free throws are not
Yeah.
great." And I mean, it's just you look at that stat and it's like you make all of those, then like you easily win that game. And we had everything right in that game that I'm just like, and I'm not going to go down and dissect it, but I know that we out rebounded them. We had their best players in foul trouble, and then we just got beat, gave up an 11-point lead. Unacceptable. But yeah, I mean, it really came down to free throws. You had one player who's no longer with us that went 0 for 5 from the line, and it's just an ongoing issue that just needed to be fixed. Never got fixed, but it's just kind of how we're
It's
at
tough.
right now with Florida. But you make your free throws, you win that, you go to the Final Four. Florida ended up getting, I think, absolutely destroyed by Minnesota or something like that. So we could have easily punched our ticket there. It was just, and then the weird ref thing with the whole like, oh, it's an intentional foul, blah blah blah. But it is what it is. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. But yeah, I appreciate the run we made in this tournament. I appreciate we had the opportunity for postseason play. I appreciate our girls for sticking together, having high character, all those things. That's really important. So I mean, yeah, we can sit here and we can be sad about that 4-point loss to Florida, but really we beat ourselves up. It wasn't Florida was not the better team in that, in my opinion.
Mm-mm.
We just we beat ourselves up with that. So you have to respect that group for making such a late run when they could have given up. I mean, they lost 2 games in the month of March. That's very, very impressive considering we went through the whole month of February without having to win in the win column.
Yeah. You learned some things about some players on this team. So I respect that. Ultimately, though, moving into next year, guys, we got to win more games. They know this. Everybody knows this. I hope we have some dogs that want to do that and they stick around. But the portal season has started. We had a couple of people three people so far that have entered the portal. Jasmine Shavers, been here for 3 years. I wish her the best. She's moving on for her final year. She got her degree here. She's graduated. She's a graduate transfer. She put a lot into the program. She's choosing to move on. We'll see where she ends up. So she's one of them. Logan Johnson. She's been here for 2 years. She was a sophomore this year. She also went into the portal yesterday. Yeah, big Logan fans around here. She's a dog. Man, if she talk about those free throws, if Logan I'm going to say win because I believe in her as a player. When she figures out that free throw thing, she's going to be a player for someone. They're going to get a good player. She's chosen to move on. And then Ivana Kryana, who didn't really play for us this year, just had a logjam at the guard spot, to be honest. But hopefully she learned what she needed to learn, had a chance to be at the Power Conference level for a year. And this year didn't count against her. The good news is because JUCO players got a free year of eligibility. That ruling came out a few weeks ago. So she still has 2 years left to play, and she's chose to move on as well. As far as I know, there were no portal entrants today. Maybe we've reached a point, and we'll see. We'll report on it as it goes. I can't explain it. I'll keep covering the portal, but if you were here last year with us, it's really hard to explain. It's not like high school recruiting. Like even Laura, what's her name? Laura Krokel was reportedly has us in her Final Four, right? And perhaps will come for a visit, but that's what I mean by perhaps. It's a weird world. She has put us in her Final Four, which means we've expressed interest and she wants to come here. There's no guarantee that she ever comes for a visit. We probably, I'm sure there's been some negotiation going on to say, hey, this is what we would do if everything works out on your visit. But usually in the portal, they don't even get offers until they're there. So it's different than high school recruiting. So when you see so-and-so has Texas Tech in their Final Four, that's a good thing, right? That means they're like, hey, this is one of the last schools I want to consider out of the 50 that contacted me. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's the same as high school recruiting. So just keep that in mind when you see news come out. But that's the biggest one I can talk about because that's the one that's been made public. She's like a 6'3" center forward. Finishes, if she had attempted 20 more shots, she would be 6th in the country in field goal percentage. She is 6th in the country in offensive rebounding at 4.5 a game, has about 9 rebounds a game. She could rebound. I watched a little bit of her tape. I think Tyler probably watched more. I'll give Tyler credit. Me and Tyler have been diving in the portal, like, when we have our list of players, like, that we're like, portal diamond, I want them to go after this person just for fun. Like, we're going to find these players, right? It's just something we do for fun. Maybe we'll talk about it sometime. But when that name popped up and I was told about that name and had to go out and write a story, I was like, I honestly haven't heard of her. And Tyler's like, I have. She's on one of my lists. So that is the one player that maybe will be coming for a visit that we can't talk about. We'll see. I'll let Tyler talk about her more since he's watched more tape on her. But before that, they are working. They're on the phones a lot. They're setting up a lot more visits. That's all I can really share right now because that's all I know for sure. It's a very fluid situation. They can't have any visitors for the next 5 days or so. It's an NCAA required dead period from the 3rd through the 7th. So the next time they'll have visits is the earliest of Tuesday, probably next weekend. We'll see. We'll report on it if they want it to be out there. If we hear anything or someone else puts it out there, we'll talk about it. But before the NHL, just speculating, us finding players that we like or we hear about this one player. So this is what I'll do, Tyler. We can tease the people with a little bit of this. Talk about Laura, because I know that you've watched some stuff on her and you know a little bit about her. I'll touch on a few things of what I have seen on her, since that's one that's out there. And then give some people, like, your top 2 names. We both have, like, 20 people lists, I'm sure, after that, of, like, I want this person on the team, and this is why, that you've seen in the portal, to give people a tease.
Okay. So as far as Laura goes, I absolutely just loved watching her tape. I mean, and I follow all these players because I saw her really solid stat line because I think she is averaging almost near a double-double in a lot of things, and she can block the ball. But my biggest takeaways from her is, I mean, she blocks out. And I know that, like, we started blocking out later in the year. Every single time that ball goes up, Laura is blocking out. And it's just so beautiful to see that. I mean, it doesn't matter. Even if she knows it's probably going to go in from her teammate, she can block out. Next thing is she can catch the ball. She has really great ball handling and really great possessions. I don't think she turns it over really that much. She has really good.
1.8 a game or something, which is
Yeah,
better than what we've seen.
solid.
So.
Yes. Solid ball handling. And if you can get somebody that can give her some great passes, she can be absolutely dangerous. And lastly, she can move. I watched a clip of her over here. You can read Shelby's article on Red Raider Sports. She included the clip. She got a steal and drove it all the way to the basket for a layup. I mean, guys, like, have we seen a post like be able to do that? Like, since Brittany Brewer? I mean, we've had people that can, like, do that, but I mean, that's just like
But yeah, no,
that's impressive stuff here. That's very impressive stuff. And if we end up getting her, she would be a huge add-on. But if not, there's definitely there's definitely a lot more people out there. I think, like they said, nearly 30% of all the athletes in college basketball have entered the portal.
I'll say this on I trust the actual scouts in the world and the evaluators. There's three power conference teams going after her. We were with BYU and Wisconsin in her Final Four, along with
Duquesne.
Duquesne, I can't even say it, who's
Yes.
solid mid-major. We'll see where she ends up. I trust that they see something in her and want to do it. What I see is she absolutely wants to rebound the ball. She goes, I mean, she is Kala level tenacious on the boards. We love that about her. She blocks out. We love that about her. She catches the ball when her guards pass it to her. Love that about her. And she finishes at a high rate. And if that's all she is, sure, that could be an upgrade. My only thing, and this is just a me thing, which is why I trust actual basketball coaches, is the reason I did not see her name anywhere is because when I'm going through the portal, what I'm doing is I'm setting minimums for different stat categories for different players at different positions, and then I'm seeing what pops up in that list. And then I'm like, oh, is this player in the portal or are they not? So I never saw her name because she doesn't shoot the ball outside of like 3 feet within the rim. And like that was one of my minimum stat categories is like, if we're going to get a big, we need someone that can make some, mid-range shots at least. Maybe have at least attempted a 3 or 2. And she hasn't done that at all. So didn't come up in my search because she didn't reach those. What my minimums are don't matter though. That's just a personal thing. So that's where I'm not like jumping over the moon about it, but dang sure if she ends up on this team and she's out there just finishing things at 66% level and our guards are able to run offense through her because she catches the ball, makes good decisions, doesn't turn it over a lot. Maybe a more polished Sarah is what I'm kind of seeing on tape. At a different level though, we'd have to see it. I kind of think Kyla Freeland's a very similar player though. Personally, I think if you put Kyla Freeland in that conference, Kyla Freeland would be leading the country in offensive rebounds herself. So that's my only thing is like, do we already have that player? But she is taller than Kyla. All these things. I do think it would be an upgrade of what we had this year out there. It would give Kyla the ability to be more flexible. You get Jalen out there at the 4, pair Jalen with her. She can shoot, and then you don't have to have your 5 shoot. These are all things that could happen. That's my honest answer. I always give you my honest answer. But I trust the scouts. I trust the teams. Again, it's not just us that's after her. There's other people. There's a reason. She is a good player when you watch her. She's a good basketball player, has really long arms, and they play a pressure defense. She'd fit in. I get it. So we'll see where that ends up. Tyler, you go first. I'll let you go. I know you. Maybe just give one or two. I know who your first one is, so just give it to people.
Yeah. All right. My first one, so I played post in high school, or not in high school. I played post in basketball, my basketball career, and I love looking at posts. My number one post that I think needs to absolutely come to Lubbock, her name is Gift Uchenna. She can be the gift of the portal. She came from Southern Illinois, the Salukis. She's a 6'3" junior, averages 14.5 points per game, 12.8 rebounds per game, a walking double-double. She shoots about 43% from the field. Absolutely love her. She can move. She can do crafty layups. She can guard at a high rate. She has a lot of blocks. I mean, she's a gift. She's a gift. Gift Uchenna. Remember her name. She's from Nigeria. Yes, the gift of the portal. Remember her name. She plays under Kelly Bond White, who is an assistant under Coach Blair. So obviously, I trust. Even though they had a really bad season, Kelly Bond White has got some really great players that went through A&M. So I obviously trust. She definitely saw a good one in there, and now hopefully we can steal that from her. And then my next one would be Tamia Scott. She's a junior guard, 6 foot from Middle Tennessee. Absolutely can see her replacing Jazz's role. More of a shooting guard. Averages 16.7 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, and she shoots 44% from the field. Also, I think is a 40% 3-point shooter. She led them to beat Louisville last year in the tournament and upset them. She also played really great against Tennessee and gave them a run for their money this year. She's a really great athlete, has NCAA tournament experience. You get her out there and you can pass her the ball at the arc or make her have to drive into the lane and be a slasher. Absolutely can do that. So those are my top 2. Gift Uchenna and Tamia Scott. Remember their names, please.
Let's go. Okay. I love that. This is one that I have to mention it because I think I messaged Tyler at like midnight one night. I was just like going through the portal. I was like, Tyler, I think I found a portal diamond. I didn't know who this girl was before, other than I used to live about 20 minutes, ironically, from where she plays college basketball. That's no exaggeration. She played at Campbell, which is in North Carolina. If you don't know, the Camels, it's literally 20 minutes from where my house was in the other direction of the big schools in North Carolina. So I knew that they were a good program. They're always fighting. I had maybe seen highlights of her on the news and just never made the connection. But I'm like doing my little stat pools, right? This is how I go through the portal. Because God's bless, there's 1,200 people in this thing, and how else could you? So I'm like, these are the minimum qualifications I would want in a point guard. So I put it in there. This girl comes up. I'm like, 6.5 assists a game. Like, I think it's double her turnovers, 3 turnovers a game, but 6.5 assists a game. That's 2-to-1. I'll take that playing at that level. You watch her on tape. She plays bigger than she looks. I swear to God, I need someone to measure her. Says she's 5'7", but I sent you her highlights.
Her wingspan
she looks like she's
is
way
insane.
taller than 5'7".
Yes.
Listen, we're both giving you names that you've never heard of on purpose. There are massive names in this portal. I'm not saying she would be my number 1 pick if I could pick any point guard in the portal right now. Probably Tony Morgan, look her up, would love to have it come to Lubbock. But if I'm taking, like, realistically, who could we get here? This girl has a lot of promise. And I'm just telling you, she averaged, she's just one of those unique kind of does-it-all players. 7.8 points per game, 5.2 rebounds per game, 6.5 assists per game, 2.1 steals per game, and 0.5 blocks per game. If you put all of those minimums into the women's college basketball stats database, and I was even generous. I put 7 as the minimum on points, right? And this is the lower half of her numbers. There are only 2 players in the entirety of college basketball that have that stat line. 2.
Wow.
And she's one of them. She just does everything. She fills up the box score in a way that people don't do that, right? She doesn't shoot well from 3. I don't think her free throw numbers or anything to write home about good enough. 70%. Shoots about 20% from 3, if that. Not a 3-point shooter. Those are things I don't typically love in guards, right? But beggars can't be choosers. I think she's an interesting player that I'd love to look at. I'm not going to go deep into other people, but I've made a list elsewhere. I love Lonnie White from Virginia Tech. I think she could fit in a different way, the Logan Johnson role. She's someone I had on a list in case Logan did portal. We've talked about her. I think Tyler agrees. She can slash, but she can shoot 50% from three on high attempts. That's not a 50% for three is her actual number. 80% from free throw, a different type of player. She could fit that role. There's a lot of players out there, y'all. There's a long list of players that I'm sure our team is looking at, ones that we haven't even heard about yet that they've already identified, and we're going to find out soon and get all excited about them. But there's a little tease on some players that we like. And then as we have actual visitors, we'll dive into those people more. But it's just fun. Like I know I enjoy it. I think Tyler's coming around to the fun of the portal season. It can be stressful, but it's just fun. It's like gives you something to do if you're a nerd, you love basketball, and just to see where the players end up. I always like going back next year and being like, oh wow, I wasn't yeah, I wasn't an idiot. That player turned out well. Or being like, I was dead wrong on that girl. That didn't go well. But it's always fun when you hit on one, right? I mean, we get to do it with no pressure because we're just two people with a podcast. The coaches are doing their actual jobs and doing the damn thing. So we'll see where that goes. Other question I keep getting a lot, are there going to be any staff changes? I don't know. I was kind of expecting, I'll be honest, I was expecting there to be some sort of staff change. Obviously not Krista Gerlich. That's already been confirmed. She's returning. We've talked about that. But maybe some new blood somewhere on the staff. But that hasn't been announced or it hasn't happened. I don't know. But just going through my inbox, that was the other big question. In addition to some portal targets, we gave you that. Other big question was, are there going to be any changes on the staff? I kind of was expecting it. I'm hopeful. I'm not saying anybody needs to lose their job. There's ways to be creative. Keep everybody, move them around if that's what happens. Sometimes people just move on to other jobs anyway and move up in the world and different things. If a spot opens up or whatever, I think some new blood could be good. Just some new ideas. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I just got the vibe that was the plan from the article that was put out from the AJ and all that, and just things I've heard. But maybe I'm wrong. So I can't tell you for sure. There was like 4 people that asked that. So that's my answer on that is hasn't happened. I was kind of hoping we have some news on that this week, but contracts are weird. Maybe it's a contract thing, or they're just waiting to find the right person. But we'll see. That's what I got.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about the portal. If you have anything else you want to add in there, maybe we'll do a whole full portal episode if we get real nerdy. Just get real nerdy.
Yeah, no, I think that, now with that news of Coach Gerlich returning, which I absolutely think with looking at the landscape of how the coaching carousel went this year, I think that's absolutely a needed choice. And with the momentum that we brought in from the WBIT, I think that everyone knows that this next year is important. And I would just tell everybody you're going to have to trust the staff and that the portal, I think, is the biggest and probably the best it's been in so many years. So you're just going to have to trust that we'll find those missing pieces and replacements and that we can get ourselves back up to competition and get ourselves back in the NCAA tournament. It's going to be a long off season, but I trust that our players are going to work their asses off. The coaches are going to work their asses off, and we're going to go and we're going to do some exciting things. So just trust the process. Just trust the process. I tell y'all, bigger things ahead for this program.
Look, Tyler is consistent to that. He says that every day. Every one of my Dreamfort people goes to another team. He's like, Shelby, bigger things are ahead. You don't even know this, but I have a tattoo that says bigger things. That's a big.
Really? Oh wow, that's so cool.
Life. And I'm not going to tell the sad, soppy story behind it, but it's a big phrase in my life. So there's bigger things ahead. And so we'll see. Hopefully they just go out and find their people. Fit over flash is what I've been saying this whole time. Dogs over divas. Go to work. Prove a lot of people wrong.
Do it.
That's what I'm hoping happens. That's all we can hope at this point. So, all right. Men's basketball real quickly to close out the show. Sad way to lose it.
Sad day.
Fun way to win it. Sad way to lose it. What a roller coaster they had. What a season, though. Congrats to them.
Yeah, for sure. I think Arkansas game was huge. You come back from 16 and then absolutely Darian wins it at the buzzer, and he's been wanting, or not at the buzzer, but with so many less seconds left, and I think that was huge for them. They all had really great nights, or that Sweet 16 night was really great. JT 20 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks. D5 had 20 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and had that game winner. Anderson had 22 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Kevin Overton had 12 points and 7 rebounds, and Federico Federico had 7 points and 9 rebounds, but a lot of those rebounds. Go read Shelby's article, probably one of the best articles I've ever read.
Stop it.
No, I'm not even lying. Like the opening line, guys, you're gonna get immediately caught from it. But Federico got I think maybe 4 rebounds off of this one possession at a crucial moment in the game, and it really just brought the momentum for us to go out and win it. I mean, the ball would go up, Fedi would grab it. The ball would go up, Fedi would go grab it again. Everyone was fighting for the ball, dogfight, and he ended up winning that huge possession for that game.
Yeah, he was big time. That's why I wrote a whole freaking article about that moment. The guy deserves his shine. This is an under the radar guy. I think he averaged 2 offensive rebounds in his entire career. Coming into that game, it had 9 or whatever it was, 7 or 9. Just 4 in that 1 30-second stretch. That won us the game. I believe that. And that's been this team all year. They've been able to win in different ways. And tough one, man. They had it in that next game. And that's just the way basketball goes. Sometimes is you win a game like that, and then the basketball gods say, but we're going to even the scales a little bit. And free throws against Florida. I don't know what's going on. Who cursed us? What angry thing I said to an alligator at one point in my life. I don't know if I didn't watch enough Animal Planet growing up or what. But Gators were cursed when it comes to free throws late in a game. Women's basketball probably lost that game because we missed 4 free throws in a row. The men's basketball team probably lost this game, if we're being honest, because they missed 2 front ends of free throws.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's other moments that they made big threes. Credit to Florida. But that's the life, is we lost it against a really good Florida team. They were the number 1 seed for a reason. But Charles Barkley, I think himself, said after the game, I don't think the best team won that game. Which was painful for his little heart to say, because all they could talk about before the game was how Florida was going to wipe the floor with us.
Yeah.
Because they're the SEC and we had no chance. And by the end of the game, even though we lost and proved his prediction correct, he was still like, actually, I don't think the best team won that after watching it. So we lost, but we did prove ourselves. We're a force to be reckoned with under Grant McCaslin. When it comes to the portal for them, they don't have any big movement right now. I think they're more in an evaluating phase because they need to know who is or isn't returning. Because it's a little different in men's basketball because they have the option to go pro. Women's basketball, they can't go pro until they're 21 or 22. Or
22 or graduating.
Or graduated. So we don't have any of those things to worry about. On the men's side, they can go whenever they want. So you have people making decisions, and then they'll... But I feel confident there's a lot of scouting and a lot of calls and visits being set up on the men's side as well. I think they might have the same dead period going on here soon as well. But it's probably going to be a very busy train station at the Womble next weekend, if I was guessing, between the 2 programs.
Yeah, I would think so too. And we'll see. But yeah, shout out to them. Toughest team wins. That was the slogan all season, and they really fought so hard. It was just a shame that it went out that way just because of free throws and a few crazy 3-pointers from Florida. I would never in my life would tell somebody to drive all the way down to the basket and then just dribble it back out and then shoot a crazy 3.
All I could do was
that's a good play. Just be I have to appreciate that.
That was only person, Adley would do that shit for the women's team.
Yep.
You gotta be cold-blooded. Just, I can make threes from anywhere, anytime. I don't need to look at the rim. I can dribble this way, shoot while I'm spinning around in the air and make a 3. I was like, that's the moment where I was like, oh my God, we might lose this game because did he just do that? They made plays.
Unfortunate.
We missed the things to give them the opportunity, but they absolutely took advantage of the opportunity. So kudos to Florida, but it was painful. I just kind of sat and stared at the TV for about 30 minutes. And then I moved on.
And then the whole ref thing with the phantom fouls and all the things. And they got to the line that guy got to the line 14 times. Reminds me of Staley Hurd from Oklahoma State.
Magic going on for them.
I know. Unfortunate. But great season. You made it to the Elite Eight, and Grant's it's only Grant's 2nd year. Feels like he's been here forever already. Just a great coach, great program. A&M, you're not getting him. Just putting that out there. He's here to stay. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We're crazy stuff.
He put out that. If you heard him in the post-game press conference, everyone has to make life decisions. I don't want to. I guess if it happens, it happens. But he was like, living in Lubbock changes your life. I think is what he said. It's it just changes your life. The people and everything around here, and it didn't sound like he was planning to ever leave the way he was speaking. So
I don't think so.
Yeah, we'll see. The last time we lost in the Elite Eight to a number 1 seed in the tournament we made the Final Four in the championship the next year.
Trends.
Vibes?
Vibes.
I don't
Let's
know.
do it.
We also...
Let's do it.
That's not true. Never mind. I was about to go all the way back, but that's not true. But at least 2 years in a row, that trend happened. But we'll see who comes around. We'll talk portal and all that. Hopefully next week we'll have some visitor info on both the men's and the women's team if they want it out there, and we'll talk about it. But that's the show, y'all. Get out to softball. They're doing the thing right now against ACU up 4-0. Hopefully that continues that way. They're playing Utah, more importantly, back to the Big 12 this weekend in Lubbock. Been gone for a month. Get there. Buy your tickets Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Baseball's also in town. Catch the guys when you can. Track on Thursday. Men's tennis in town on Sunday. Women's tennis doing the thing on the road. I think I got everything. Portal Madness is underway.
Yes.
Let's go. Tune in, follow, subscribe, all the things.
Let's do it. Wreck 'em.